So this is the morning after we got the battery in the truck, and that trip actually worked out really well. The dogs were good. I took them with me because I didn't want them to have to sit in the trailer, and I thought, shoot, what if I get stranded? You know, because with a dead battery, like, I don't know, like what if I forget and I turn off the truck and it stops running and then I can't start it up again and I'm stranded there for hours? At least I'll have the dogs with me. So I took them with, and we had a really good trip into Vegas and the Costco, and I got the battery. And let me show you what I did to the battery. There's this spray. Let me show you the spray that I got. And I use this on all my batteries. You know, when you're living as a nomad, this is the stuff I got right here. Battery terminal protector. I've had that for probably a year or something like that. So it lasts a really long time. And I've only got 3 batteries that I'm dealing with right now, but you just spray that on here once you connect it, and then that helps protect against the corrosion. Plus I got these pads on here, which supposedly helps as well. And then when that goes, kind of turns from red, it's kind of reddish, kind of pink. Once it clears up, then you gotta spray it again. I think it's every few months, something like that. You want to spray it again. But I got this battery at Costco, and the guy helped me get the right one because the battery it said on the website was actually the wrong battery. So I was really glad that he helped me exchange it for exactly the same size. And these guys are a little bit antsy this morning because they saw me putzing around in the trailer getting things ready to go, because we're gonna hit the road today and we're gonna end up in Quartzsite here in a couple days. I'm gonna make one stop for camp somewhere in California. We're just kind of dipping into California for a minute, and I'm gonna camp there, and then a day or two later I'm gonna end up in Quartzsite. So I'm looking really forward to that. It's getting cold here at night, which was actually a real issue because I ran out of propane. And when you're living as a nomad, these things are really important. You know, the batteries, keeping the batteries running. You know, of course, all the mechanics and the engine and the trailer and stuff like that is important, but all of your fuels are important. And I wasn't planning to be here this many nights, but having the dead battery kind of messed up our plan a little bit. So I was here for a few more nights trying to recharge the battery, see what I could do, figure out what the best plan of action was. And I take my time when I do that. Like I don't want to stress out, so I just kind of take my time. And it took a few days before I decided to jump it with the trailer batteries and head out of here, you know. And, you know, I had to call ahead, make sure they had the battery in stock that I needed. So I ran out of propane because we were here for a few more days than I was planning. I was planning to go into town and get propane a few days ago. So being out of propane, you know, that means I can't run the fridge. So I turned off the fridge last night, and I have no heater. And luckily it's only been getting to like the 40s, something like that. So it was cold last night. I mean, like right now my hands are kind of cold, but I had the dogs with me. So of course they keep me warm. So we were actually really fine in bed. Once I got into bed, it's like we were warm as could be. We were fine. But I do have to get out of here today because I need the propane. So it's a good day to leave and go stock up on propane. And there's a gas station that I know of in Vegas, and it's one of the few that has a free dump station, because I need to dump the tanks, the black tank and the gray tank. And you can dump your tank there as long as you buy, I think they want you to buy some gas. They also have propane there, so I'm going to fill up my propane tanks there. So I get free dump service, and I'll get full of propane, and I can turn my fridge back on and make sure everything stays frozen. So the other thing about not having propane, gotta watch that cable with the dog. No propane means no coffee, because I got no stove. So I got my backpacking set up right here, and this is how I'm gonna make my coffee this morning. I got this little cook pot, and I'm gonna boil my water in here. And then I got this little mini stove that I use. And I'll put a link to this on Amazon. And just so you guys know, like if you click on those Amazon links, you don't even have to buy anything. But if you do, you know, that helps us out. And you guys have been clicking on those links, and that's kind of helps support us, and it doesn't cost you anything. And it's just really awesome that people go down into the description and click those links, and that helps us out. You know, if you see a product in there that we use, like this hat, This is my favorite hat. And I mean, I love this hat. I would vouch for this hat any day, all day. So you can click on the link to this hat and check it out. And just by checking it out, that helps us out. And we appreciate your support. We really do. So really, this is my favorite hat. I love this hat. It looks kind of silly, but I don't know if it looks any better than my haircut. I cut my hair yesterday, and I think it turned out pretty good, but I left it long on the top. I'm not really that picky. I don't really care. I mean, I don't really see that many people out here, so I'm not trying to really impress anybody. I'm gonna get this coffee going, and then I'm gonna put some eggs in there and have some eggs for breakfast, and then pack up the trailer, and we're gonna hit the road. Now here's a tip I got. When you're using a lighter in the outdoors, you never want to use a lighter that's the same color as the ground. It's really stupid, because you drop that thing and you're not gonna be able to find it, especially if it's dark. You're never gonna find that. So you want a fluorescent colored lighter. This is from the kitchen, that's why I've got it. But always when I go backpacking, I use a lighter that's like bright red or bright orange. That way you can't lose it, because you will drop it and you'll just set it down and then you'll forget it. Like if I just leave this here, I'll never find it again, because I'll forget that it's there and it doesn't stick out. And this is the stuff I use for this little mini stove. And like I said, check the description down there. And there's a link to this heat for fuel for your stove, and link to this stove that I use, and this backpacking cook kit. So you just fill this up. I'm gonna make eggs too, so I'm gonna make sure there's plenty in there. There, now it's lit. And that'll take about five or 6 minutes till it's boiling. Of course, I got my Arizona tea jug, which I always carry water in when I'm on the road. I gotta fill these up today. I gotta get water just down the road. There's a place with free water. So I filter that through an RV filter, and then I can fill these jugs up. And I got some 6-gallon jugs in the truck. And of course I got 30-gallon tank in the trailer. I don't need to fill them up all the way, because we're gonna be in Quartzsite within a few days. And once I get to Quartzsite, then I get all the water I need with that pass. You pay 180 bucks and you get water and dump services, and there's a dumpster there too. So the neat thing about this stove is it's got this little lid, and you snuff it out with this, but also if you just open this halfway, then you get half as much heat coming out of there. I think that'll work really well for the eggs. So you've seen me make coffee before in my other videos. I won't get into it here. But this is Nomad breakfast with me and the dogs. Oh, Dodger's waiting by the food. See, I got the food there in the chair. I got some asparagus yesterday at Costco, so I'm gonna throw that in with my eggs and cheese and butter. Let's have a look here. Got the asparagus in there, a little bit of salt and some onion. It's turning out really good. I put 3 eggs in there, and I left it just sitting here with the lid off, which was my mistake. And guess who I caught with their nose all the way down in it? He probably got half an egg's worth. But this guy here, he thinks he's just the boss of everything. I don't blame him though. Like, I have to pretend like I'm mad at him, you know, to scold him so he knows that he did wrong. but inside, like, I'm laughing, right? Like, it makes me, I'm upset that he was licking my egg because he's not supposed to do that. But at the same time, it's like Echo was over there, and so he thinks like, oh, if I don't get it, then Echo's gonna get it. And Echo wouldn't. Echo's like really good. He just sits there and kind of smells things, but he's actually really well behaved as far as manners goes. So I don't really blame Dodger because he's like, well, I got to get it before Echo gets it. So he starts lapping it up, and I just hear him up there going, and I'm in the trailer and I yell at him, and he can't hear me that well, or at least he acts like he can't. So I have to go out there and like make the angry face and like point at him and go, "You bad dog, get away." And he knows he was bad because he jumped back right away. But I have to hide my smile and my laughter from him so he doesn't know that I actually think it's really funny. I got the cheese sitting out right here. I give them a piece of cheese every morning because I pretty much have cheese on my egg bagels every morning. And Echo came over and smelled it, but he didn't take a bite. Echo. It's really gonna be good. It's funny because this is pretty much what I eat every morning, but it feels more special now because I'm like having to go through the full effort of getting this kit out and starting it up a different way than I normally do. It's fun when you have different pieces of equipment like this, different things you can use. You can try out different things, and you always have a backup, which is really helpful. That's something I think is really important if you want to live this nomadic lifestyle where you're traveling around and you got all your gear and your couple vehicles that you got with you, whether you got a van or like us, you got a truck and a travel trailer. You want to have backups for your systems. In this case, we ran out of propane, so I have another way to make my breakfast and my coffee in the morning. Coffee's important for a nomadic lifestyle. So to have a backup for that is really helpful. And then I have other backups too. I have solid fuel tablets, also backpacking gear. And I have even like a mini gas powered stove, which is also another type of backpacking stove you can get. Those are really small, so they store away really easily. So I pretty much, they don't get in my way in the trailer and the truck. But when I do need them, then I have them. It's just really, really nice. Now, as far as like staying warm last night, my backup for that is basically I have a really warm sleeping bag. I also have a down-filled sleeping bag, which is even warmer. And I have a down-filled blanket, which I can pull out if I needed to. It's not that cold. It's like 40 something, so I didn't need to do that. But if it was freezing temperatures, then I would have definitely had to have gotten that out. And then that way, running out of propane is not the worst thing in the world. It's like, oh, I'm going to be cold tonight, but I have jackets, I have long underwear, I got socks, like heavy duty socks. I got really warm blankets and sleeping bags, so I can use that as my backup system. So I'm never going to have a night where I'm freezing. The only thing that I can't really operate is the fridge without the propane. And what that means is, let's see, does it run on? Yeah, actually the fridge will run on electric power. I'd have to have the generator on. And that should power the fridge. I don't know if I've really done that before, but you just have to switch on the fridge. You can switch it to electric, and then you turn on your generator, and then it's powered up. It's cold enough now, so I'm not worried about it. I'm trying not to open the fridge or the freezer too much. And it's only going to be a couple hours, and I'll be in town and filling up on propane. And I'll turn the fridge system back on again, and it'll make sure everything stays cold in there. Having backup systems is really important. With the batteries, with the dead truck battery, having these batteries as my backup plan. And even beyond that, I have the solar panels, which I tried that. It didn't really work, but I could probably get it to work after days and days of charging. What I really need is some way to jumpstart the battery with auxiliary battery system. They have those jump starter batteries that you can get. They have them at Costco and stuff like that. If I'm going to do that, if I'm going to get a jump starter battery, I might as well just get like what everybody gets is the Jackery. I know some of you get the Blue Eddy brand is a really popular brand for Nomads. And I feel like I could jump start the truck with one of those. So I'll look into that and see if maybe that's the better option. I gotta see if Echo's eating my eggs. Hopefully he's just guarding them. Let's see what he's doing. He's a good dog.